Hey everyone, it's John with Vermont Homesteader, and today I'm going to be planting some really late potatoes. It's July 15th. Usually we have these in the ground in May, but the two other patches of potatoes that I planted, one is kind of overgrown by weeds, and the other one, the potato bugs are really taking it to them. So I've always planted potatoes way out away from the rest of the garden. I don't really know why. It's just something I've done. But I don't know that that's working as well as it used to work. And so I'm going to put some in this row. I had made this extra row earlier in the year and I never used it. So I'm going to mow it and then we're going to till it and we're going to put in seed potatoes. I had one crate of seed potatoes left, red potatoes, and we're going to put them in and see what happens. Potatoes usually grow, and I'm hoping that they're going to grow really fast today through the end of the season. I mean, we have all of the rest of July, so half of July, all of August, and should be all of September. Hopefully we don't get a frost before then. We have had frost before then, but I should get a solid 2 months, and I think that's enough to grow some potatoes in the soil here. I'm also going to put them in rows. I'm going to lay out some black plastic. I'm not going to get to all that today, but it's going to get done over the next few days. And hopefully we'll have some good potatoes, and hopefully some of the potatoes out there survive and I get some out there, because potatoes are a big staple for us. We make all kinds of things out of potatoes. One of these days I'll do a video on Sarah's dill potato salad. It's the best. So stay with me here today and we'll put some potatoes in the ground. I always mow first. Usually in a big field we mow with a brush hog, and then we'll mow with a regular mower and try and get it pretty short so that the tall grass doesn't wrap around the tiller blades as it's tilling, because then it just becomes this mud caked grass, dirt mess in there, and the tiller has a really hard time of chewing up the ground if you get too much of this type stuff wrapped around the blades, this tall weed stuff. So that's why we're mowing before we till, and now we'll get to some tilling. have some nicely tilled soil and it's ready to plant potatoes. So I'm going to make some rows with the hoe and we're going to put them in. I do have a single row plow for my tractor, but I don't feel like taking the tiller off just to put the plow on and then take the plow off to put the tiller back on, because I have to till food plots next weekend. So I guess I'm just a little lazy about that. This won't take too long. I'll get all these rows in and then I'll come back and show you how we plant potatoes with seed potatoes. So these are red seed potatoes, and literally all they are is the potatoes from last year that I didn't use, and they just grow. They grow what they call eyes, and then the eyes become shoots, and new plants grow off the shoots. So we're gonna put these in. Pretty much all you do. So like this potato, if you don't have a lot of seed potatoes, you can cut this in half, as long as they both have a shoot, and you will get potatoes. You just lay them in here. I'll show you. I'll bring you over and show you. You just lay them in the ground like that. Those are the two pieces. Just lay them flat, and then we're going to cover them up with dirt and leave them be, and they'll grow and hopefully make us some really nice fresh red potatoes. I only did 3 rows, hoed up 3 rows, because I don't know if this is going to get me through more than that. Couldn't tell you. If I cut them, it probably will get me through more than that. Some of these I will cut. Sometimes you can cut a potato into thirds. There's so many eyes on it. So we ended up with enough rows, enough seed potatoes for 4 rows. And you can see, like I showed before, we just laid them in here. And now, just got to cover them up. There's a lot of people that say you got to hill your potatoes. I don't usually hill my potatoes. I cover them up. If, as they're growing, you see green, or you see any part of the potato coming up out of the ground, you do want to cover it with dirt. You want to get some dirt from in between the rows, or some topsoil from a pile that you have, and you do want to cover the potatoes up, otherwise they'll get green, which can make them actually toxic. Unlike onions, which when they pop up out of the ground, you want to leave them popped up out of the ground. It helps their growth. But that's it. I'm just going to cover them all up, and then I'll be done. And then we let God's creation finish it off and grow plants and grow new potatoes. And then we'll harvest them and eat. And whatever we have left over, we'll go to new seed potato. There was one thing about the potatoes: if they have blue or white mold on them and they just don't look good, or the shoots are rotting and a dark brown, then don't use them. Throw them in the woods. But other than that, it's pretty simple. If they have a bunch of eyes on them, cut them in half or cut them in thirds, put them on the ground in a trench and cover them up. And you'll end up with food for your table. And I hope you enjoyed this video on how to plant potatoes. I'll have more videos coming of the garden and other things we're going to be doing here. We're going to be starting to take the siding off the barn and re-siding the barn. So it's going to basically be that and some shooting and some archery and maintaining the garden for the rest of the summer. And then we'll start hunting. We'll probably do some fishing too this summer. I haven't gotten any real good video of it yet, but I will. And hopefully I can show you some big bass and some nice pickerel coming in on the kayaks. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you'll come back for more. Vermont Homesteader.